Keyboard-drenched intros? A lot. Reverb-laden vocals? Fuck tons. Dance music-inspired production? The occasional guitar riff? Not so much. Bullet for My Valentine are back with Gravity. Okay, now, before I start, I will say I've never been a huge fan of Bullet for My Valentine. Not that I've necessarily found them to be a bad band, I've just never connected with them, I've never felt them, I've never vibed with them. Much like Trivium, who they're often associated with, I suppose, as the English answer to, or the Welsh answer. I'm not sure how they'd feel about being classed as English. That's somebody over there watching me. But this will be the band's sixth album. Sixth? Why did you say sixth? This will be the band's sixth album and their first since 2015's Venom. A lot of bands have been using more keyboards and synthesizers in their sounds lately, and Bullet for My Valentine really use it a lot on this album. But it's not a dark sound, it's kind of more like a dance. There's kind of a almost dance production quality to a lot of this stuff. Apparently they actually wrote quite a few of the songs on piano rather than guitars as well, which kind of attributes to that. I do applaud the band for trying something different. I mean, I'll just quickly read this out from Matt Tuck before I tear into this one. We've tried to approach songwriting differently in a bunch of stuff. We don't want to regurgitate anything we've done in the past. That's the past. We want to look forward to the future. We try to make things bigger by calming things down on the technical side. So we've still got really big, massive, heavy groove songs, but instead of being super thrashy and technical on the guitar, they are far simpler and far more digestible, but it gives you a far bigger sound. There's a lot of stuff that will be very self-explanatory when people hear it. I don't want to say too much about it yet because it is very early days, but it's a very personal record for me. It's got highs and it's got very dark lows, but it's very real and I think people will relate to it. I mean, one thing I'll say before I get started as well, actually, I did actually find a lot of the lyrics to be very heartfelt, very emotional and expressive. So lyrically, I didn't really have an issue with the album. But by the gods, are there people watching me over there? Appropriately enough, the first song is called Leap of Faith, I guess, which attributes to both their musical direction and experimentation. Yeah, get up here, get up here, get up here. Not good, not good. I don't like being down there, that's not good at all. Like a lot of the songs on this album, it kind of has this sort of dance song kind of shitty intro, which I don't like. It's, I want to say kind of almost Linkin Park-esque. I did actually kind of like some Linkin Park stuff, but Linkin Park did it quite well. This starts out okay, but you do hear this sort of thing on every song. Pretty much every intro is this synth keyboard based pattern and kind of dancey little shitty drummy bits. And the vocals are always in this sort of clean, hushed tone. Having said that, I did very much enjoy the chorus on this one. Jump into the fire, now free. I'll take you to the edge, but it still can't break me. I'm not caving in. That was all right. Over It is up next. The main riff on this one was actually not too bad. It reminded me a little bit of kind of Burning Red, Supercharger era Machine Head. That kind of, new metal, I suppose. This was the first single to be released. Watching you decline, what were you expecting? I can't save you from yourself when you don't want saving. It's on your head. Don't point the finger, point the blame, because the warning signs were clear. You just wouldn't listen. You just wouldn't listen, would you, you twat? Oh, I presume that's about somebody, self-destructing, or, maybe he's talking about himself. I don't know. I should have done more research, really. I could have, but I just wanted to get the review done. Letting You Go is up next. This actually had some really nice riffs on it, but I really did not like the chorus on this one at all. First you wanna love me, then you wanna hate me. This is how I'm feeling now, I'm letting you go. Said earlier on about how I actually quite enjoyed the lyrics. And I do. I think the thing that lets me down with a lot of this album is actually the vocals, and it's the one thing that I've always struggled with Bullet for My Valentine. The lyrics themselves are very expressive. I said they're very heartfelt, they're very open. It's very open-hearted, which I respect a lot. but the vocal delivery, I don't know, it kind of makes it difficult for me to feel it. You know what I mean? It's got a kind of, I've always felt it's kind of had an emo tinge, and emo's got its place. I'm not trying to put it down, but I've just, personally, I find it hard to connect. I find it hard to vibe. I find it hard to feel it. I need to feel it myself, and I'm not sure I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Matt and chaps. Not Dead Yet is up next. This one starts out strong enough, but again goes back into the dancier sounding, soft, hushed vocals, which they just, if you're going to experiment. Don't just experiment in one song and then do the entire album kind of like that song. Angsty vocals hidden under reverb and hushed tones. I'm not sure if this is a comment on human nature in general, or if this is about a specific relationship. Look at our history, don't put it on repeat, let's make a stand and drag ourselves out of this misery. No killing time, we've got to use it. Can't turn it back around, so don't abuse it. Are you alive? To be fair though, this had a pretty strong chorus on it. The Very Last Time is up next, as it gets a bit windy as I'm coming down here. Windy, like my bottom and my mouth. I'm really kind of getting a bit bored of the subtle intro by this stage. I guess this is about ending a shit relationship. Again, lyrically, I actually quite like this one. I've gone and put myself through this for the very last time. I'm not going to punish myself when I know that the fault is not mine. It's on my skin. Your scent is poison when I breathe you in. I've gone and put myself through this for the very last time. For the very last time. I kept waiting for this song to go somewhere, but it just never really did. And I've listened to this song for the very last time. Next up, we have Piece of Me. Finally, a song with a bit of balls, bit of beef to it. I'm crossing a stream. Don't cross the streams. Ghostbusters reference. Yeah, finally we get a song that's actually got a bit of balls to it, and then it goes straight into kind of that dancey tone again. Does redeem itself though with a heavy enough bridge section. Kind of feel like, oh yeah, right, the song's going now, and it just reverts back to that passive sound. Ugh. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know, just sometimes it just doesn't work, and this is one of the, fuck off. I do like an album with dynamics and peaks and troughs, but I don't know, this just didn't really do it for me. And I gotta say, again, it's kind of the vocal delivery that I struggle with the most. Just don't find it engaging at all. Give me a reason why I should give a fuck. Ooh. You lost my sympathy, you lack that human touch. Too many secrets, too many past mistakes, discoloured memories. Stand by your fall from grace. Fucking hell. Not that bad. Under Again is up next. Another boring one that has a few decent riffs, but again kind of just dwindles into nothing. Because when I'm losing my head, it feels like I'm going under again and again. Know what you mean, mate. Next up we have Gravity, the title track itself, which is why it's called Gravity, like the album Gravity. The Bullet for My Valentine album Gravity, which I'm reviewing now. Another one that starts out with some beef to it and then reverts back to the same formula. Considering they wanted to experiment, I think they could have done it. They could have done a lot more, I think. My eyes are wide open, build me up to tear me down. Sick of going through the motions, you're the gravity that keeps me falling. It does sound like there's a hell of a lot of personal stuff going on here, and I normally like to give this sort of stuff a chance. I like to give the story a chance, but yeah, it's just not hitting me with this. Next song is Coma, and this song really pissed me off because I actually felt this one had quite a bit of potential, and it just kind of got tepid again. What really got me, there's a really nice chunky riff that's woefully underused yet again, so that we can have more of the just the emo-y, just tepid shit. Decent chorus though. I'm free falling and the black hole's open. Vicious circle leading me to lie. I keep swimming through an empty ocean in slow motion, in slow motion. Don't Need You is up next. Now, if there had been a few more songs like this one on the album, I'd have probably been a bit more into it. A bit more beefy, had some real, I think the vocals more than anything were one of the few on the album that really made me feel something. And ironically enough, I fucking deleted them. I think this might have been a song that was done a couple of years back as well. I think I've seen somewhere this as a re-recording. Hang on. So now this ship is sinking. I don't know what to do. It's got me thinking that I don't need you. Ooh. Too many wrong decisions. You didn't think this through. So what I'm saying is I don't need you. I don't need this album, to be quite honest, but gosh. And final song on the album is Breathe Underwater. I actually quite enjoyed this one because this is essentially an acoustic ballad in many ways, but it doesn't try to be anything more than that, and it works well because of it. It doesn't leap from the for a 10-second nice riff back to the just it's, you know, just quite a heartfelt ballad. Kept me breathing under the water when everyone else left me to drown. You were the light that shone through the darkness. Now I'm blind because you're not around. I mean, you know, I like the sentiment of that. That person who hangs around for you, who's always got your back. So that's the album. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Now, I've been pretty harsh on this, maybe for dramatic effect, and maybe because my reviews are so largely positive. It's kind of, in a way, kind of nice to have one where it's just like, you know, I don't doubt their sincerity. I don't doubt the lyrical content. I've said that many times. I think it's all very heartfelt, and they've obviously, I think they've done an album that they're very proud of, and I think they've done an album that they wanted to do. It's just not for me. It just had too many times of just, which is the worst thing, really. You know, that's the worst you can have, is just something that's, But maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. Let me know what you guys think of said album in the comments below. I mean, you will do anyway, let's be honest. That's what you want to do, then you will.